Now, I love Frankenhearse. I built that car years ago. For those of you who have watched the show for many, many years, will remember Frankenhearse from the pilot episode. This was all for this epic trailer for the show. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. I just wanted to make something cool. So I built a 1968 Cadillac hearse, but it couldn't be a Cadillac-powered hearse, right? Because people would mutiny on me. So we ended up taking the 500 and some cubic inch, maybe it was a 500 cubic inch Cadillac engine and transmission out of it, and I adapted a 440 Magnum in it, rebuilt a 30 over, I think, mile camshaft, put a tunnel ram dual fours on it, and we used that many times in that original opener, the original cold open that it was and trailer that it was for Graveyard Carz. Frankenhearse has been with me since '08 when I first built the car, but we haven't used it. You haven't seen it now in probably 200 episodes. It was only used in the first couple, I think. It's been stored down at our friend Chuck's place, Springfield Auto Recyclers. You guys recall Springfield Auto Recyclers is where we held a paintball challenge back in the early days, I think season 2 or 3. We were all down there, and it was a great place. He had all classic cars, and he sold stuff off all over the world. He had discovered eBay, and that's how he was making a living after he shut down the main collision type of recycling yard. After 10 years of sitting there, Chuck called me up and said he was retiring. Thank goodness for him. Good for him. I'm glad that he did. But that we had to get the car out of there.
So I remember Frankenhearse from when Mark first built that car. And after seeing it sitting in the wrecking yard all those years, I was really excited to get it out.
I'll tell you something, this is an interesting thing. So it was a decent day when we started out and decided that we were going to run down and grab the car. And you remember in the Munsters, whenever there was always rain and clouds over the house itself, no matter how nice it was everywhere else, it was raining outside the house. That was a great bit. Well, I think Frankenhearse borrowed a little branch from that tree, because while we took off and it was nice weather, the closer we started getting down to pick up the car at the wrecking yard, the more it started raining. The closer we got, the harder it started raining. Now, Doug, he's simpleton. He loves this stuff because he loves monster movies. I'm not so thrilled because I know I got to be out in it. But literally, as we were pulling up to that place, the skies opened up and really let go.
So when we left the shop, it was dry out and sunny. And as we got closer, it got darker and darker. And this was like a lot of old movies I've seen. It was right up my alley.
So like I say, as we got closer and closer to the wrecking yard, it was really starting to pound. The rain was coming down. It began to thunder. It was lightning. Now, these are all great signals, right? Now, the average person would have took those signals, turned around, and gone back. But I asked Dougie, he says, no, this is great. This is perfect weather. This is my weather. And why is it his weather? Because he's kind of like Frankenstein. He loves those old monster movies. I do too, but I realize they're movies. He wants to live them. He wants to go out into some graveyard and dig up an old body and try to reanimate it. I don't understand what is happening with that man. All I know is so I guess technically he's my Igor or Igor. I heard your name was Igor. No, it's Igor. I changed it. So you changed your name to Frederick? No, it's Frederick. Frederick. That's young Frankenstein.
I love the old monster movies, and so does Mark. I don't know what he was complaining about. I thought it was a beautiful day to pick up Frankenhearse.
When we finally got out there, it's not surprising that one of the tires was flat. Frankly, I'm surprised they weren't all flat. What was a little surprising is I found myself in the middle of a graveyard, digging up an old hearse with thunder and lightning, pretty much all the worst scenes of the Bible you can imagine, all the things from Revelation. Look, I'm not a 1930s monster movie. I'm a human being. Dougie loves this stuff. Y'all see him out there. He's just like that Igor dude. He's happy. It's raining down on him. It's thunder. It's lightning. He's miserable and he's happy. He's happy. That is whack.
Once we got air in the tire and got it hooked up, I noticed Mark seemed to lighten up a little bit.
Cousin Dougie!
Oh, hi, boys!
Gondars!
Gondars! So I noticed Mark has started to bring Gondars back again. I never really understood what it meant, but if it makes Mark happy and calm, then I guess it makes me happy and calm.
And now here's the thing about Gondars. I love old Gondars. That's from the movie I Spy. That was the bad guy in I Spy. Remember when Eddie Murphy was talking to him and he said, Mr. Gondar, and he does that little laugh afterwards. You're a real player, Mr. Gondar. I love that. So I adapted it. I hadn't used it in probably a season or two now, and I was down there and I just felt like, given the circumstances, things were odd down there, that I just throw out a Gondars and try to bring some familiarity to the scene. Is that bad? It's about ready to pull that bumper off of there.
The bumper's coming off?
Yeah, something broke loose in there and the whole thing rolled up like this and it went back. Yeah. All right. Frankenhearse. Why doesn't it say Frankenhearse?
They're coming back to life, Mark.